Hey there. This is Amy from Mimi Stitchery. I'm laughing right now. I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing in 2 seconds. It's Amy from Mimi Stitchery. This is Tuesday, July 23rd. This is Flosstube number 105. And if you are new here, oh my, do I have a show for you today. If you're a repeat watcher of mine, you understand me and you um, know that this is going to be crazy, right? I have told my husband that I'm filming a floss tube and he's still texting me. So I've shut it off, but it's coming through the laptop. You're going to hear it. That's why I'm laughing right now. Um, I'm also way out of practice. I have no idea when I filmed my last floss tube. And if you're not new here, you know that this is me, I guess 3 weeks ago it says. This is normal for me. It's just is what it is. I am a nurse educator. If you don't know, I am a nursing professor. I teach at a local nursing college. I am off for the month of July, so I figured, how about we try to film a floss tube before I go back into the crazy schedule that is education these days. Hold on, coffee. I have stitching, I have knitting. This is take number 3 on this video because what I was trying to do is separate the stitching from the knitting. So those of you that wanted to piece out after the stitching, you could. And those of you that wanted to stay for the knitting could stay for the knitting. My brain just does not do well with that. And I stutter over my words and lose my flow. And I feel like it's just a mess. So I'm just going to do me. I have a finish, a cross stitch finish. I have knitting almost finishes. I have a cross stitch new start. I have plans. I have tons to talk about today. So we are just going to go the way my brain goes. And I will apologize to anybody who doesn't like the way that it's happening. You see, I got a chip in my glasses here. I've ordered new glasses. I have a new prescription. I've ordered new glasses and new sunglasses, so I'm hoping that those will stop headaches that I've been struggling with. Yeah. It's been hot here. It's been hot in a lot of places. We've had tornadoes here this year, which for upstate New York is not a normal thing. We've been camping. Lots going on in life, but overall this month I am feeling at peace and rested, although my eyes don't look it today for some reason. Rested and productive. I am in my craft space, so for those of you that have been around a while, this craft space is in my basement. It has morphed over the years into lots of different things. But little life update, and I think I've talked about this before. Our son is getting ready to move to Hawaii. And so in November, when his lease is up, he will come stay here for a couple of months while he gets ready to move to Hawaii in January of 25. So he picked the spare room upstairs to use while he's here, which is totally fine. But as empty nesters, I have kind of spread out my crafting like this craft room. I had a little bit in the spare room upstairs, then a little bit in our master bedroom, plus I have a stitching chair in the living room. So I took a couple days and consolidated everything down here. I have some of my fabric stashes here. Some of it's put away. Then I have yarn in here. I have more yarn in empty bags. And I have some thrifted yarn up here. Some things for my silhouette up there. And this wall here looks a mess from your angle, but it's really not. It's my peg wall where I have things hung up. I have you positioned on my sewing. I have an L-shaped sewing desk, so I have 2 machines here, and I have my silhouette here, my cameo. Yeah, it's been a productive month. But again, I feel really good about this vacation. I feel better about this vacation than I have in vacations past. I'm not sure what that means really. Maybe it means I shouldn't be working. I don't know. But Is what it is. All right, let's get on to the stitching. If you're somebody that is watching that wants me to split stitching and knitting completely, that's not going to happen today. Probably won't happen going forward. But what I will do is tell you, I don't mind just fast forward to cross stitching plans. If I can figure out how to do timestamps, I will. I don't know that I will figure that out. But, you know, I'll do the best I can for you. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of be a mishmash. I will show stitching first as far as whips go and knitting whips, and then I'll go into plans and haul for both at the end, if that helps. So let's get started. I guess the first thing I have for you is my finish. It is the Bat by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is stitched on a 40 count Vintage Country Mocha. I used all the called for DMCs. And I like them. I did not enjoy stitching them. I'm not sure why. This was one of those ones where I just had to gut it out and get it done because I wanted a finish. And he was the closest to being finished. We'll talk about that need for a finish here again soon. The first one I'm going to talk to you about now, because now I'm going to have to pull everything back out, because, like I said, take 3. This is And a Forest Grew. I'm stitching this with Gail from Gail's Golden Needle. We started this on my birthday. Gail, was it this year? No, it was last year. We started this for my birthday last year, or she started it with me on my birthday last year. I am stitching mine on a piece of 36 count Mushroom by XJU Designs with all the called for DMC. And we split this into 12 parts to have it done by the end of this year. This is where I am currently. So it's coming along quite nicely. This July section is this section right here. And I have several more little things to put in here. But otherwise, it's looking nice. You can see the hoop marks and everything. I'm not going to iron everything because honestly, it's going right back into a hoop so I can finish up July's section. As you will tell from my plans. What else do I have to show you? Because now everything's kind of all over the place. Hold on. Let me get organized here. Finish. Okay. The next thing I worked on was Southern Land by Owl Force Embroidery. I will put a picture in here of what it's to look like when it's finished. I'm stitching this on 36 count witch out linen, nothing specific. And I think this is with the called for DMCs, and I'm pretty sure this is sitting at like 62% right now. So when I get to plans, I'm going to talk more about this, but during my plans, I picked 3 of my whips that are remaining for 2024 and put them next to my stitching chair. This was one of them. I have officially reached the bottom left-hand corner, as you can see by that red stitch square at the bottom. So that's how big it will be. I would like to get it finished this year. I say that every year. So yeah. The other cross-stitch whip I'm going to show you is the Fungi Sail. This is being put on by Living on the Rainbow. I believe the last part just came out today. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the last part. I would have to look back through here to see how many parts. I am woefully behind, but I had no desire to keep up. I just wanted to stitch the book. And honestly, I don't remember the last time I showed this to you, if I showed you the finished cover or not. And I honestly don't know if I even have worked on it that much. Yes, I have. I couldn't have shown this to you finished like this. The cover is finished. I'm pretty sure I did not have this finished last time I did a Flosstube, but honestly, I cannot remember. This was a lot of stitching. the cover's finished. It is stitched on 18 count Ada that was dyed by me. It was just a scrap in my bin. The pages are all stitched on 32 count vintage country mocha. And like I said, I'm woefully behind. I'm only got the first stage almost done. First page. There are a couple times where she gives you alternate pages to stitch, and I may try to add those into my book somehow. I don't know how, but I really like them. They're Anatomy of a Mushroom. So if you're not part of the sale, I recommend it. It's been fun. It's been fun. This is actually part of my plans. It's going to go with me on a camping trip for this weekend. So that's that. I'm just looking around to make sure. Oh, my full coverage. So because I've been off, I've been able to rotate my full coverage around and get my 1,000 stitches on several pieces. So the first piece I'm going to show you is Grand Library. I'm going to put a picture in here of what it will look like when it's done. It is artwork by Amy Stewart. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't know why I just blanked on that. I am stitching this on 28 count. 2/1 tent, as you know, is my fave. Ooh, let's do it right side up. And there you go. I actually picked colors. There were rogue stitches that need to be done. I picked them and just have kind of worked them in. But this got over 1,000 stitches in its last rotation. So up in my stitchy chair, just so for those of you that are new here, this is how this works. I have one of those 3-tiered rolly trays, and I have a milk crate. In the milk crate are all my full coverage pieces, and I pick one from the front, I do 1,000 stitches, put it in the back. Well, I'll show it to you guys, and then put it in the back. And then I take the next one and try to get 1,000 stitches. I don't do it like back to back, but when I feel the bug to stitch on full coverage, that's what I do. So this got 1,000 stitches. Then I worked on what's called Mini Blu-ray. The artwork is by Leah Roche, I think, R-O-C-H-E, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a mini. I'm stitching this on 28 count Lugana 2/1 tent. Started this in the upper right corner, just as I started this on upper right, Grand Library started upper left. I just start where I start. And this got 1,000 stitches. You'll have to excuse the threads. Sometimes I park, sometimes I don't. Just the way it goes. And then I had a full coverage new start. I have no business starting a full coverage. Oh, hopefully Blu-ray. If I didn't put a picture in, I will put a picture in now what it's supposed to look like. The next one is a new start. I started on July 4th. It is called Pledge of Allegiance, and I believe it's from Cross Stitch Studio. I am stitching this on 28 count, 2/1 tent. Oh, again, upside down is a thing for me today. You can see some of the words here, and this got over 1,000 stitches in. Yeah, so that's good. I had no business starting a new start, full coverage, but I did it anyway. It is what it is. So that is all my cross stitch whips. So we're going to go into knitting whips now. The first one I'm going to show you is a pair of, so let's preface this a little bit. Every time I knit a regular pair of socks, unless it's for my husband or for my son who have larger feet, I always have enough left over to make a footy pair for my oldest daughter. She's only gotten one pair because I don't know what it is. Going back to the scraps is not, something that's my default, but now I'm trying to make it my default. This was a yarn from Forbidden Fiber Co. when I was in her, I want to say it was Once Upon a Time monthly yarn club. I don't know what color this is. I know it's no longer in her shop. But I got one of the socks done and to the toe. I just need to Kitchener the toe shut. My daughter has extremely small feet, so they go very fast. I think she's in a size 5 shoe. Yeah. But yeah. So that's one sock done. It'll be Kitchener shut today. And then I will cast on the second sock. And then I have this pair. This is from my Forbidden Fiber Co. No, not Forbidden Fiber Co. Yarnable, when I was getting the monthly Yarnable scheme. This was my March, and it was How We Grow Again. This is no longer available. And I'm no longer in the Yarnable subscription club. I have several skeins back here that still need to be knitted back up. But I had a lot of yarn coming in, and honestly, I can't knit them that fast. But Here We Grow Again. And this is the skein. Again, my socks are, I'll show you, they're at the Kitchener. So they've already been detached from the skein. Let me wind this up. They've already been detached from the skein. So I have enough left here to do footies for my oldest daughter. And here they are. I knit these in tandem, and I can tell you right now that I will always knit socks in tandem now, if I can. Oh, I thought I just pulled the needle out of the toe. I'm telling you, I pulled the needle out of the stitches already once today, so I'm really kind of hesitant to do that again. That freaks me out. But I have both socks to the toe. So these also need to be Kitchener shut today. And so those are my socks. These are my markers. I use these to make sure that my socks are the same length, row-wise, everything. All the way to the toe. Yeah. All the way to the toe. They are the same. So here you go. There's another pair. I'm pretty sure these are going to be for me. But you know what? I make them, I set them aside, and then I decide later. Because right now is not sock season. Not wearing sock season. So I'm going to be sitting down this afternoon. I'm going to put a movie in, and I'm going to Kitchener some toes shut. That will lead me to a new cast on, which we'll talk about in plans. What else do I have? Sorry, I have to pick something up. Because again, take 3. So I had thrown things all over the place. I have worked a little bit on my son's Afghan. As you guys know, I've been working on, this is Knit Picks Dishy in Kenai, I think is the color, Kenai. This is 100% cotton yarn. I bought 4 cones of this because I had given my son some knitted dishcloths for Christmas, and he wanted a blanket like that. So I bought 4 cones, not knowing how much it was going to take to make a blanket, but I'm pretty sure, sorry, cough, that I'm going to finish this cone with the increases, and I'm going to, when I get to the second cone, go to the decreases. And I already moved the progress keeper because I had already shown this on a previous recording that didn't work. It was like 1.5 inches lower at that recording. But I haven't been working on this a ton because it's a blanket. And it's been like 90 degrees here the last couple weeks. It's now cooled down. It's like high 80s, but here we are. So I think once we get to the end of this first cone, I will I will put it on, try it on cords so I can see exactly where we are corner to corner, but I'm pretty sure that's going to make a decent size blanket. And so I'm going to when I start the second cone, I'm going to start the decreases down, if that makes sense. The other thing I worked on, now understand, I have more knitting done because honestly, when we're camping, it is easier for me to sit and knit and visit with people as they come by than it is to stitch. So, yeah, it just is what it is. This is, let's see, The Basic Raglan by Joji Locatelli, put out by Madeline Tosh. I am knitting this with Barocco Ultra Alpaca in the color, I think the color number, it's 50% superfine alpaca, 50% Peruvian wool. Again, this didn't get a ton of work, but it did get some. This is the color tag in case you're interested. I've gotten to the first decrease waist shaping, let's put it there. But just, like my markers right here, just to the first waist shaping, but I have the neck. I tried this on, I put it on try-it-on tubing. It's fitting quite nicely. Yeah. And it's looking good. I like it. I'm curious when this is done and when I block it, if it's going to expand at all. I'm just curious because I'm still learning with the knitting thing, and that will be my first garment. I'm kind of trying to get that done because I have plans for other sweaters. And I want to learn more about this one before I move on to another one. Plus, I have the sock whips to keep me busy, plus other things. Yeah, I have one knitting new start to also show you. I am going to put a picture in here in a second. A couple friends of mine, Erin and Tiffany, hello ladies, we decided that we were going to do a yarn advent for each other for Christmas in July. And so we drew names, and I put one together for Tiffany. Tiffany put one together for Erin. Erin put together one for me, and we've been drawing them every day in July. So I started the anthology throw. I will put a picture of the pattern in here. I don't remember who it's by. Hold on, because I will tell you. It's the anthology throw by Helen Stewart. Curious Handmade. And I just have always, anthology throws on my list. I keep a list on my phone of knitting projects I'd like to knit, and especially those that are good for minis, because not only do I have this advent, I have 2 Christmas advents coming this year, and I have a box of minis right here, a basket. It's full of minis. So I'm very interested in scrappy projects, and the anthology throw was one on my list, so I decided to start it. I will put a picture in here of the lineup because I'm woefully behind. There's no way I'm on day 23's yarn today. I'm actually on day 4 yarn adding into the anthology throw. But again, I had no desire to keep up with the days because that would mean that's all I did. But I do like the idea of opening yarn every day and working on an advent project. And you see the cold is still affecting my voice. We're like 5 weeks out. Anyway. So I put a picture in here because I lined up all the yarn and took a picture for you of where we are right now. I still have day 24 and 25 to pull. And this is not in a good place to show you, but here we go. I can't stretch it all the way out. But this was day 1. And Erin has given me some progress keepers, and I've kind of just been putting them on along the way. And this is the color 4, which is this right here. But yeah, I will have put a picture in of what all the colors look like lined up next to each other. I have several of them wound up already in this bag in here. And it's looking good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying all my crafting. I'm enjoying doing whatever I feel like doing. The only thing that I'm really enjoying is that I picked 24 whips and cross stitch to concentrate on. I think that was a good idea. And my knitting, I've just kind of been doing as I do. When I feel like I get too many whips, I just finish a pair of socks. And then it's good. It all works. So if you stuck it through all that, we have some plans to talk about. And I mean loose plans, because you know me. When I plan, that means I don't do anything. So I have one piece of haul. 3 by the Sea Designs. I mean, there are many yarn dyers that I like. I like Freckled Whimsy. I like 3 by Z's and Signs. I like Legacy Fiber Arts, Forbidden Fiber Co. Moonglow. Is that what this one is? Yeah, Moonglow. I like a ton of yarn dyers, but I will say 3 by the Sea has my heart because every time they come out with stuff, I have to buy it. I don't know why. 3 by the Sea. This is She Sells. You know, it's funny because they joked about it on their Flosstube or their YouTube. She sells seashells. This is on their Sandoval base. It's a fingering sock set, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I love knitting with their yarns. I love knitting with all the yarns I've gotten so far. But I couldn't help myself and I picked this up. This will now go, I have that square right there is all sock sets. This is single skeins. These are single skeins that aren't like this. Do you know what I mean? They're just skeins. Like there's Regia Perfect up there. There's lots of sock. This is all cotton plus my basket of minis. These are wound up from Forbidden Fiber Co. These are sweater quantities or shawl quantities. I think these are too. So this will go into that top square to add to the prettiness that's there. And I pulled a couple more to put in my plans. So let's talk about stitching and knitting plans. Okay? Stitching plans are the same as always. And a forest grew, I need to finish the July part. Autumn Town is up in my thing. I have not worked on that since last time I showed you. I need to sit down and put some stitches in that. The very next full coverage that's in the milk crate will come out for its 1,000 stitches. And I pulled 3 whips to put up in that cart for me to focus on beside that. One of them was Southern Town, which you have seen. Another one was Halloween Quaker. And this is where that stands right now. I believe it sits at like 72%. So that's going to go back up into that cart. And then the other one that I pulled to go into the cart is Cooper by Kathy Barrick. I did a color change that was inspired by Lindy's stitches, not exact to hers, but it was inspired by her changes to Cooper. This is where Cooper sits right now. And he will go sit up in my stitching bin. So I have 3 whips, a full coverage, plus the 2 projects that I'm going to get done this year. And then Nap Time Stitcher came out with the Olympics. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. It is a way to kind of, I don't know, think about how you're stitching. If my projects fit into this, I think it would be kind of fun. So for opening ceremony, it's a new start or stitch something you started in 2024. So I could easily work on Pledge of Allegiance, which I just started. I have a couple others that I started this year. Parade of Nations is stitch something patriotic for any country of your choice. So that could be the same. That could be Pledge of Allegiance. Stitch something related to summer. Right? But I think thinking about my stitching and if it can fit into Summer Olympics or if it inspires me, then I will do that. If not, then I will just leave it to the wayside as usual. But I am finding that if I don't plan things and I have to just think about things that might suit me, if they work out for me, they work out. And if they don't, I just ditch them and do what I want. And as long as I stay within the 24 that I pulled for 2024 and my knitting whips don't get out of control, I'm good with that. So, but I do have some knitting plans because that one pair of socks will be finished today. And because the shorty sock will be finished soon, because they don't take me very long at all, I have 2 new sock cast-ons that I'm thinking about doing. One is going to be just vanilla socks that I will knit in tandem, and I've pulled one of my Freckled Whimsy Christmas Yarn Club. This is from April. It's called Vintage Christmas, and these will be my vanilla sock on Magic Loop. No, vanilla sock on 9-inch. I will knit them in tandem. And the reason I have to have them in vanilla sock, because vanilla socks I can knit lots of times without looking at them, and they go by pretty fast. So I'm going to knit, and this is on Kismet base, just so you know, 80-20, 80 superwash merino, 20% nylon. So those will be my next cast on once I finish the Yarnable socks. And then I pulled this, the Moonglow Yarn Co. I've showed this guys to you. This is Coral Cove sock set. I want to find a colorwork sock pattern. So if you have any suggestions down below, please give them to me. But I would like to find a colorwork sock pattern that I can do with these colors. And I think that would be cool. Yeah. I may have to look on their website. I don't know if they have patterns or not at Moonglow. But I will look there and see. But again, the base is this really pretty, it kind of has a pinky tan. But I think with some color work in these colors, it would be nice. It would be awesome. But if you have any ideas for a colorwork sock, I would like to try a colorwork sock. Yeah. I've looked at the colorwork cowls. I'm not a huge cowl fan, so I'm not even sure what I would do with a colorwork cowl. I don't know anybody that wears cowls here, unfortunately. But I think a sock or a colorwork hat, maybe. That could definitely. So any suggestions below, I would welcome. Well, hopefully, I'm going to get this video edited and put up today after I get all this stuff put away. So, and these, we are wound up, so they're ready to go. If you are just joining and you've made it all this far through the crazy ramblings of my head, then thanks so much for being here. If you are returning, I thank you as always for your support and for continuing to watch and being so supportive when sometimes I get kind of crazy on here. Things are crazy these days. And I'm not even going to get into that discussion, but I have learned through this crazy pandemic and then going into the crazy aftermath of the pandemic and the change in our society and our culture that it has become very important for me to take care of my mental health, and the crafting is my way to do that. So if you are lucky enough to have a craft space that you can make pretty, that you enjoy sitting in, you are blessed for sure. And I am definitely blessed by mine. And thank you all for your support and continuing to watch. And every time I mention about stopping doing these videos, I get a lot of comments about please don't stop. So the crazy's here, and I will just keep filming as often as I can film. So have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.